We have reached the Elite Four of the Friendly. The top 4 trainers from the entire tournament have met here in this penultimate video, and we will see who advances to the final round and who will play for third place. Today's video will include 2 rematches from the Swiss stage, Flarolyn versus Grif, and Ryon versus Gakko. Our first Elite Four showdown is a rematch from round 3. Grif's Dragon Water Squad took the win over Flarolyn's Fire Fairy team 6-3. We will see if he can replicate that effort now that we are in a best 2 out of 3 format, or if Flarolyn will be able to turn the tide. Each side has a super effective match into the other. Fairy, super effective into Dragon and immune. Water, super effective into Fire and resistant. Who will play better? Who will advance to the finals? Let's find out right now. Tinkaton starts off on Flarolyn's side and Melodic for Grif. 2 standard starts, both very supportive Pokemon here. A Gigaton Hammer does very little to Melodic, and a Scald will burn the Tinkaton, so that's going to reduce the physical damage even further and will also negate the leftovers. Melodic still having its leftovers unblemished. More Scalds, and Stealth Rocks will hurt Grif's Pokemon as they switch. As you can see, the Gigaton Hammer does practically nothing at this point, and Scalds will continue to whittle Tinkaton. Maybe 2 more Scalds will be enough to kill. Tinkaton does use a Thunder Wave to reduce the Melodic's speed and potentially give some paralysis chances. Tinkaton now at under a quarter health. Gigaton Hammer is still doing very little, but the paralysis will give Tinkaton another chance. That could have been death from a Scald there if it had moved. A second Thunder Wave isn't a great option there, hoping for more of a knockoff, but Tinkaton will survive at 4% after the leftovers and burn counteract one another. Another Gigaton Hammer, but a paralysis will leave Tinkaton alive another turn. Knockoff would be the best choice here, and it is used. Leftovers gone from the Melodic. It still has some healing from Draining Kiss, but it is much more vulnerable now. Another Gigaton Hammer does 8%, and that Draining Kiss does kill Tinkaton and heal a tiny bit back. Grif now up 1-0. Victini comes out. A quick U-turn to get out of the way of whatever Melodic was planning. It was planning a Scald, and Mimikyu uses the disguise on that, and the red card will be held up, dragging out Greninja. Grif swaps back to Melodic, taking Pointed Stone's damage, and a Drain Punch from Mimikyu will heal it up to nearly full. Swords Dance will boost Mimikyu's offensive efficacy. Scald takes out a chunk of health. Shadow Claw doesn't deal very much. Melodic very bulky. Mimikyu down to 29%. Takes Melodic down to 3% and will survive that Scald. No burn means Mimikyu still doing alright. Very badly damaged, but fairly fast and a lot of attack. Greninja comes out, and Mimikyu will use a priority move to make sure it gets some damage in before Greninja can attack. But that will mean Battle Bond triggers Greninja, boosting its attack, special attack, and speed, so that's dangerous. Not sure about the Arcanine swap for Flarolyn. That Surf was going to kill it, and it also kills the Iron Valiant. Another Surf probably queued up. I'm very confused what is happening here. Some switches on both sides that I'm not sure about. Earthquake does 2/3 of Skeledirge's health. Will-O-Wisp will burn the Garchomp and reduce its offense, giving Flarolyn a little bit of time to boost up with Torch Song as Gyarados comes out, but a Waterfall will finish off the Skeledirge. I'm surprised there was no healing coming out, so Skeledirge down fairly quickly in this match. Switching back to Garchomp on the Arcanine, that's an interesting choice. Not sticking with the water types into the thing that is quad weak to it. Extreme Speed is going to trigger Rough Skin. Earthquake going to kill despite the burn, so Flarolyn down to just 1 Pokemon, and that is Victini. Terastallizes into solely Fire. Scale Shot not going to do too much. will hit 5 times, and Garchomp probably dead here. Victini will use Power Up Punch. That's going to trigger Rough Skin, but it will boost its attack. All of its powers are based on attack, so if it's fast enough, it might be able to get something done, but Luster Purge will kill. Grif loses 2 Pokemon, goes up 1-0 in this best of 3, and is 1 win away from the finals. Flarolyn struggled that match. Some unfortunate switching, the Greninja Bond being able to trigger off the nearly dead Mimikyu, the Surf being deadly to almost everything that was left. Honestly, Flarolyn's going to have a tough time dealing with that Greninja. Dark moves for the Ghost type in Skeledirge, Water moves for all the Fire types. Honestly, I think Mimikyu is going to be the key to Flarolyn's success if she can have any. She needs to bring it out at a time when it's not wasting the disguise the way it did unfortunately that time. But let's see if this match can get turned around, or if Grif will move on. Here we go once again in the Elite Four of the Friendly. Again with the Tinkaton lead into Melodic. We've seen how this can play out. Gigaton Hammer, not very effective, and Scald lands the burn again. Goodness, that Scald has been incredibly valuable for Melodic. Stealth Rock once more. This is nearly a carbon copy of the previous match thus far. Gigaton Hammer after the burn does practically nothing. Scald continues to whittle away. Based on the previous match, we would get a Thunder Wave here. And we do. And based on the previous match, Melodic would have to paralyze here for Tinkaton to stay alive. Gigaton Hammer. No paralyze means Tinkaton down faster. Melodic, instead of being kind of neutered without its leftovers, is doing pretty well despite the paralysis. Bolt Strike deals 40% or so. Scald will do more than half to Victini, so Victini gonna U-turn to get out of the way. Hopefully something that doesn't take damage from water. That is Mimikyu. Wasting the disguise again. Maybe not a waste if you're trying to keep things alive. Red card will drag out the Dragonite. Quark Drive triggers for Iron Valiant as Grif swaps back to the Melodic. Iron Valiant very fast, and Melodic Paralyzed will definitely not go first. Flarolyn going for a setup into Melodic, and Melodic is paralyzed, so this could be good. Close Combat will finish off Melodic. Reduces Iron Valiant's stats, but it does have some high speed right now. Let's see if it can take something else out now. Can it chain some kills? Extreme Speed doesn't kill. Ice Punch, super effective into the Dragonite. The Yachi Berry doesn't matter, as it was already low enough for that to kill. An Ice Punch into Gyarados only does 70%, and an Earthquake will kill the Iron Valiant, but Flarolyn had the lead for a moment there. Gyarados boosting its attack with Moxie. Garchomp in now, probably a Head Smash if I could guess. Oh, Flare Blitz, I'm surprised by that, but Rough Skin will trigger on the Hisuian Arcanine. Garchomp. Scale Shot will probably kill the Victini from that range, especially when you get a critical hit on the third one. Flarolyn down to 3 Pokemon. Grif has the lead once more, and a speedy Garchomp. Earthquake will not kill Skeledirge without a crit, and Skeledirge will once again Will-O-Wisp the Garchomp. The question is, will it survive another Earthquake on the burn? It will. Earth Power used. I was thinking that was going to be a recovery move, which would have kept Skeledirge safe. Unfortunately, it is not, and an Earthquake kills the Skeledirge. Flarolyn down to 2 Pokemon. Hisuian Arcanine out. Extreme Speed will kill. Triggers more Rough Skin, ripping at the Hisuian Arcanine. Greninja Bond out now. That's going to surf into a Hisuian Arcanine because that's 4 times effective, and there that is. Down to her last Pokemon. Can Flarolyn defeat this Greninja and the 2 remaining Pokemon in the back with just a Mimikyu that is disguise busted? Shadow Sneak for the extra quick damage, but being Ghost type means Dark Pulse is going to be super effective, and Grif will advance into the finals. Flarolyn, defeated in 2 here, will play for 3rd place. It just seems like the Surfeit of water types was too much for Flarolyn's fire team to overcome. Congratulations to Grif, and let's move on to the next match. Our next match pits Gakko's Dragon Ghost team against Ryon's Poison Ghost team. These two met in the first round of the Swiss stage, and Gakko won handily 6-1. Ryon comes in as the lowest rated seed in the bracket stage, but his defeat of the number 1 seed, who I will not name, was absolute. 2 6-0 whitewashes where he used exactly one Pokemon, so Pecharunt is certainly warmed up for this fight, but the rest of Ryon's Pokemon are well rested. Gakko has a few advantages on his side, Archaludon, or if you listen to Juice, Soundwave being one of them. His steel typing makes poison moves completely ineffective, and its general bulkiness and the stamina ability will also make it hard for physical damage to break through. Ryon has 2 primarily special attackers on his team, but Gengar is relatively fragile, and Pecharunt tends to rely on Malignant Chain, which is a poison move. We will see if Ryon can continue the underdog run defeating higher seeds, or if Gakko repeats the results from the Swiss stage and moves on to the finals. Starting now. Hydreigon out for Gakko. Sableye, Ryon's signature Pokemon, out for Ryon. Ryon swaps to Overquill, intimidating the Hydreigon. Hydreigon's a special attacker, so it won't mind that too much. Overquill down to under half, and Ryon swaps again, this time to Pecharunt, the not just MVP, but only player from his bracket stage part 1. Malignant Chain lands on Hydreigon, bringing it down to just over half. Gakko swaps out to Garchomp. Another Malignant Chain will trigger some... Oh, it doesn't trigger Rough Skin. I guess Malignant Chain doesn't make contact. Interesting. Earthquake hits Sableye almost for half, and another swap to Archaludon. Gengar in on Ryon's side, Dragonite in on Gakko's side. A missed Focus Blast, a hallmark of the tournament and the move. Ryon swaps out to Sableye. Dual Wing Beat is going to miss entirely. This has been a lot of non-damage here. Knockoff will remove the Damp Rock from Dragonite. Hydreigon in. Immune to Prankster moves, so Sableye having a hard time getting anything done on a Dark type. Encore and Will-O-Wisp unable to affect Hydreigon because of its Dark typing. Fire Blast will hit Okidogi. And I'm pretty sure Fire Blast misses as well, so the Blast move's having some trouble here as Okidogi Drain Punches Hydreigon away, bringing Ryon up by 1 Pokemon. Sableye, pretty hurt, now pretty dead. Garchomp takes it out with an Earthquake, and Gengar comes in. That'll be faster, and a Dazzling Gleam does over half to Garchomp. Earthquake will kill Gengar from full, though, thanks to the poison typing and Gengar being nerfed to no longer have Levitate. Garchomp's attack removed a little bit from Overquill's Intimidate, but a critical hit will ignore that and kill Pecharunt entirely. Overquill reducing Garchomp's attack even further, and Archaludon comes in, as Ceruledge comes in as well. I'm not sure if Ryon has the ability to get through Archaludon at this point because it has the healing from leftovers, the continued defensive boosting from stamina, and Ryon's only got physical attackers left. So this is a good position for Gakko to be in. Intimidate will help a little, but not with the Draco Meteors, though the Draco Meteors are taking Archaludon's special attack down. Black Sludge healing Overquill, but not so much that a Body Press is safe. Body Press kills. Ryon down to 2 Pokemon. Okidogi comes out. Eats a Body Press, it resists that. A Drain Punch is a good choice, but that's going to bring Archaludon's defense up even further. And Okidogi takes a little bit of healing from it, but it's not going to survive another Body Press, bringing Ryon down to his last Pokemon. It is a Ghost, so Body Press isn't a good choice now, but when it terastallizes... Oh, it stays Ghost, that's fine. Shadow Sneak. And what's the move Archaludon chooses? It's a 0.33 Draco Meteor, but that is enough to kill from that distance. Gakko takes his first win in this best of 3. He lost Hydreigon early, but then took the next 6 without an answer. Ryon's going to need some kind of change in game plan to deal with that. Can't lose the special attackers before you deal with Archaludon. I think that's an important key to this. That's the only analysis I really think I have. You have to deal with the Archaludon that's been one of Gakko's main contributors the entire tournament, and you need a special attacker for that. So bring out the Gengar, bring out the Pecharunt, do what you can to get rid of it with Shadow Ball or some other non-poison move, and I think that's the key to Ryan's success here. Gakko just needs to stay the course. Focus down the special attackers and then bring out Archaludon. It's practically unkillable by the physical attackers. Here we go in the second game of this best of 3. Garchomp versus Gengar. Gengar swaps for Sableye. Doesn't quite take half, so it'll have a chance to do something. Archaludon gets Will-O-Wisp, not a bad choice from Sableye. Swapping to Overquill, going to reduce body press damage, but not going to reduce Draco Meteor damage, though Draco Meteor will reduce further Draco Meteor's damages. Another swap for Ryon into Gengar. Draco Meteor doesn't quite... Well, it's disabling the Draco Meteor, so that's nice. Body Press won't be able to hurt the Gengar, so Gakko is going to have to switch. Shadow Ball does about a quarter to Dragonite, and then more because no more multiscale. Dual Wing Beat going to finish off the Gengar, so that's one special attacker down. Overquill in to intimidate the Dragonite. It's going to run as Archaludon comes in to block the Barb Barrage. Steel types immune to poison. Pain Split from Overquill. I'm not sure we've seen that in the tournament thus far. That's going to reduce Archaludon's health to match Overquill's. Toxic Spike's an interesting choice. Could poison some of the things that are not flying. Draco Meteor brings Overquill down to 5%, and a second layer of Toxic Spikes means anything that isn't steel or flying or already under a status condition will get Toxic Poison. Oh, except also a grounded poison type will come in and completely remove the Toxic Spikes. Overquill gets killed from a Shadow Ball, and Gakko's Gengar now faces down Okidogi as Dragonite comes in. A Crunch will eliminate the Dragonite, taking Ryan's first kill. Okidogi gets out of the way as Sableye eats an Earthquake. This one is more than half, so Sableye now dead. Pecharunt going to take an Earthquake as well. Lives it. Malignant Chain. No Toxic Poison from it, so Pecharunt goes down as well. Ryan down to 2 Pokemon. Earthquake is going to hit Ceruledge, but the Sash will keep it alive. Poltergeist will deal 60% of Garchomp's health. And Ceruledge down to an Earthquake. All we have left is Okidogi on Ryan's side. Turns into a Dark type to reduce the weakness to ground moves, so that's helpful. Kills the Garchomp. Hydreigon in with a Flash Cannon. And Okidogi is defeated along with his trainer Ryan. Gakko takes the win. Though Ryan was able to get one more kill than in his previous attempts, Gakko proved the better on this day and moves on to the finals. Congratulations to Gakko. Ryan will play for 3rd place. Well, there you have it. We have our finalists in the friendly 2 dragon teams, Gakko, Dragons and Ghosts, versus Grif's, Dragons and Water. See you for the finals and the 3rd place match of the friendly.